So, my name is Navina Nirada Dasa. I'm coming from Zurich, Switzerland. Naturally, when you meet people, they are not very enthusiastic, but they have all different kinds of ideas, what they want to do, what they want to accomplish. But when an enthusiastic devotee meets a person on the street and shows him Srila Prabhupada's books, the natural response is that the people, just by the contact with a book distributor, they become very inspired, they become very enthusiastic. So even if the people initially may not have had an interest or a deep appreciation, just by seeing the conviction, the enthusiasm of the book distributor, they become inspired. Personal, my realization was, and still is, that the more you're direct with a person, and you're very directly addressing his situation, you show him that you understand his problems, his conditioning, and you're appreciating him as an individual, as a personality, you're respecting him, and you actually have to like the people if you're out there distributing books. Then the people, they respond by being very, very nice, by being very friendly. So the best thing to achieve that goal is that you yourself, you're yourself. You don't try to put up a show or try to play tricks on them, but you're actually presenting the knowledge and the books of Srila Prabhupada in a very natural and a very positive way. So when the people see that you are yourself and you're convinced about what you're doing, they respect that. They appreciate that very much. I can see personally that a lot of people, when you meet them on the street the first time, they are afraid. They're afraid of personal relationships. But when they find out that the book distributor is not one who wants them to do something, but who is just presenting something in a very positive, in a very nice way, straightforward, they find out that actually they have a free choice be presented to them, that actually you have the free choice to take this book or not to take it. And if you present it to them in such a way, they become very much inclined to actually take this step and to accept the transcendental literature. And I, as a book distributor, have also realized over the past 10 years or so that that exact moment when the people are changing right on the spot in front of your eyes is a lot dependent on your own surrender and your own dedication to this mission of distributing this transcendental knowledge. As a devotee, we try to understand that the Lord is within the heart of each and every living entity, a super soul, and giving him inspiration, giving him knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. But it is not always very easy to understand that. But when you see someone who is totally indifferent towards you, ignoring you completely, and being totally interested in other subject matters, when you see him walk away with 3 books in their hand, with a smile, and their courage to actually read these literatures and to find out what's going on, then you become very much convinced that this is the way how to change people's life to the better. This is the way how to work for the benefit of the people in general. Many times it takes quite some while till the person actually changes. He may say a few times no, he may refuse to take the book in his hand, but when he sees that the book distributor is not attached, when he sees that this person is simply offering me his friendship, no matter what I say, no matter what I do, then at one point the person realizes, hey, this is my friend, this is not an enemy. I can listen to him, I can trust him, I can actually believe him what he says, because he's straightforward, he's convinced, and he's very enthusiastic in doing that. So this is what encourages people a lot. Therefore we can see that people on the street, they can read your mind very much. This is a very known symptom. That people are actually reading your mind. They can understand what's going on in your head. So if somebody approaches them and just has dollar signs on his eyes and thinks, let me get some money from that person, the people naturally respond by being very indifferent, very negative. But if they see this person is not after my money or is not after myself, but this person is simply offering me his friendship, and it is up to me whether I take it or not, then if the people see that choice, many times, almost all of the times, people, they will say, yes, I like to have a talk to you. I like to find out what makes you so determined, what makes you so enthusiastic, even though the circumstances may be completely hostile. When I see people walking away with 3, 4, 5 or 7 books in their hands, I feel very grateful. I feel very grateful to being allowed to take part in this wonderful mission, because I understand that it is not by my qualities or by my way of speaking or smiling to that person that this man now took these books, but I can see that something from within told him that this is good for you and you should actually accept this and you should take it. So sometimes we try to say things in a very direct manner or in a very, very funny way, but people are just not responding. They are completely indifferent to what you try to present them. So this makes myself as a book distributor a bit more detached. On book distribution, one can realize practically every day, every minute of the day, that one is actually not the doer. It is not I who is controlling the situation, but it is some superior force, some other energy which is there, acting, and which is guiding me through the people, and which is inspiring people to take these literatures. And this is one of the most inspiring things on book distribution. So when I distribute a book to someone, when he has agreed to take the book, then at the end, when he's given a donation, at the end I tell him that we're going to meet here next year, same day, same time, same place, and you let me know what you think about it. You check it out at home, and you let me know how you feel about it, what you liked about the book. And the people, they become very much enthused to actually read the book, because in the back of their minds, they're always thinking, if I meet that person again, what's he going to ask me? He's going to ask me, well, did you read it? How did you like it? And just, they feel very much encouraged to read the book. And many times you meet them again, because by the will of Providence, people are coming together in the most strange circumstances. Sometimes you meet someone in an airport, he buys a book from you, and then many, many years later, you meet him somewhere in a parking lot of a supermarket, buying groceries, and the person is amazed to see you, the same man, in a completely different place, in a different city even, in a completely different location, but you're still doing the same activity, and you're still going on with the same conviction, with the same enthusiasm. And if they just happen to meet you twice, they become totally convinced that this is something very wonderful. I met one lady when she was going for shopping on a parking lot, and she was buying 7 books from me, and then after that, about 2 years later, I met her again in front of a post office where she's going to bring some letters there, to post some letters. And she had been away from Switzerland for these 2 years. She'd been in Hong Kong doing business, the big company, management involved. And I asked her, so how did you like it? How did you find the books? Did you read them? And she was surprised to meet me here in front of this post office, where people go to do very ordinary transactions. She was surprised to see me in this place again, with the same books, the same person. So she told me, well, I didn't have that much time, but I actually liked the books. I went through them, looked at the pictures, and appreciated them. And just by being so positive about meeting a devotee again with the same books, I presented to her the Srimad Bhagavatam set, all the volumes of Srila Prabhupada's translation of Srimad Bhagavatam, and she agreed to buy them. She took another 15 books from me, so she was very happy to meet the devotees again. Also, one other very interesting incident which is occurring almost daily is people who have bought books in the past and they meet you again, and they don't ask, you don't have to ask them a lot of questions. Mainly they come up to you and they tell you, I got this book from you people, there and there, and this place, and I read it, it was fantastic. Do you have more of these books? Or what is new? Do you have any new titles? And they're surprised to see that. Actually, the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust is putting out every year 2, 3 new titles. So they just agreed to take these books. But it's a question of the conviction of the devotee. One very interesting thing which I like to tell you also is that according to the frame or to the state of mind which you are in as a book distributor, you attract certain classes of people on the street. So this is a very interesting experience which every devotee has who goes out to distribute Srila Prabhupada's books. If one is very negative himself or pessimistic, you'll meet a lot of indifferent people who turn you down and you just walk right over you. But when one goes out in the morning thinking, today I'm going to meet very nice people. There's going to be so many interested people, so many people who already got books, and it's going to be a real experience, a real adventure. Then you can be for sure that on this day, Krishna will send you so many nice people, so many interested people. But if one already gives up the fight before one has even started doing something, then what hope is there that something good will come out? So I can see it as a challenge to myself not to sink into lethargy or indifference or become complacent with myself. Because every day I have to rededicate myself to this mission of distributing the books of Srila Prabhupada. Because I'm meeting exactly these persons who correspond with my state of mind. And this is something very interesting, which one notice when one goes out to distribute. What keeps me going on book distribution is the taste which I'm getting every day when I'm out there distributing the literatures of Srila Prabhupada, and seeing the satisfaction of my spiritual master and Srila Prabhupada, and the benefit which all the people are getting from this sacrifice of giving transcendental knowledge to the people in general. My personal realizations on book distribution are coming mainly from the positive reactions from the people which I meet every day on the street. And having been in contact with so many persons who read the books of Srila Prabhupada and changed their lives totally just by reading these transcendental literatures is something very wonderful, something very amazing. You meet everyday people who have given up eating meat, people who believe in karma and reincarnation, just by reading a page or one verse of the books of Srila Prabhupada. But to speak of people who actually take their time of going through one whole volume, like reading Bhagavad Gita entirely from cover to cover, they're changing their lives. And they come up to you on the street and they thank you, and you meet people out there who are chanting 16 rounds Hare Krishna Mahamantra. They've never been to a temple. They never would dare to go and live in the association of devotees, but they're out there, and you're meeting them every day, and they're so thankful that this knowledge is being given to all the people of this world. So this is giving me greatest taste, especially when I can see how people are actually becoming happy and successful in their spiritual lives. It doesn't necessarily mean that somebody has to come up to you and shake you his hand and say thank you very much for what you're doing. But just that satisfaction by seeing someone happy to have gotten transcendental knowledge, this is enough for me. That keeps me going for a very long time. And also, when I see other devotees becoming more inspired and more convinced about this mission of book distribution, then I can see that there is actually some future, that there is actually some hope for human society at large. If more and more people take up book distribution and try to work for the benefit of the suffering humanity at large, then there is actually some hope for the world. Therefore, we need some revolutionaries, in the positive sense of the term, who try to change things to the better, who are sick of this whole cheating, society of cheaters and cheated, and who want to live on spiritual values. So this is my main realization I'm getting when I'm out there distributing Srila Prabhupada's